If you want insane aim and cracked movement, we're going to discuss my settings. I'm going to cover my controller button layout, the reticle settings, general settings, and of course the beaming ALCs. So let's get to it. The first part I'd like to talk about is of course the gameplay settings. Most of these are personal preference, however there's a few things I would recommend you change. First of all, the crosshair damage feedback, I would set that to off. This will mean you don't have an X crosshair over your enemy while you're shooting them, and in my opinion it just makes for less visual clutter so you can actually see more and see what you're shooting at. The next thing I would change is taking damage closer's death box or crafting menu. This will enable you to get your shield swaps while you are in a death box if you start getting shot at, rather than closing out and then you just having no health. I would also like to mention reticles. In my opinion, I think pink is the best custom reticle you can have. It shows up great on all different areas of all the maps, and for me it's the one I found best. You might have a different opinion, but I honestly think pink/purple is probably the best color you can get. For the controller settings, I would highly recommend you stop using the default settings. Either use Evolved, Ninja, or something custom. Evolved, in my opinion, is the one I play on and it's what I find the best. It's made my movement a lot more fluid, and unless you play Claw, you really should be playing Evolved or Ninja unless you have back paddles on your controller. It will offer you way more control and much more fluid movement, as it stops those sort of limitations when you're trying to jump and aim and do everything all at once. Now again, most of these other controller settings are actually personal preference. The only one again I would recommend is changing your crouch to hold. I just prefer that. I think it makes my movement better once more. And having your L2 R2 button dead zone set to 0, so as soon as you start pressing them, they start firing or aiming in. Now if you don't want to use ALCs, you could try 4-3 classic. That is the most common one that people who don't use ALCs seem to use, and it's the easiest to get along with. However, if you want to use ALCs like myself, we're going to show you them. This is what I feel is the best ALCs to be using for aim and movement. You can play with these and experiment with them yourself, but this is what I found to be the best. Now, I have my dead zone set to 5, outer threshold 1, response curve set to 7. My per optics are actually off. My yaw speed is 300, pitch speed 190, turning extra 240, turning extra pitch 0, ramp up 0, and ramp up delay 0. Now I prefer my ADS settings a little slower, so I have my ADS yaw speed set to 125 and my pitch speed set to 90, and 0 turning extras or ramp ups on there. Target compensation, if you are on controller, should be on. This is basically just aim assist, and same for melee target compensation as well. You can set to the PC aim assist if you prefer. If you want to get better, you could also turn your aim assist off. It's entirely up to you if you really want to get cracked aim. However, honestly, I would just leave that on if you're just a normal casual player. Video settings, the FOV is set to full. I want to see everything around me, and you want FOV ability scaling disabled. This means when you use an Octane Stim or a Bloodhound ult, you don't get that wider field of view that will completely mess with your settings and ultimately affect your aim. My sprint shake is set to minimal, but if you want to learn more Apex tips, you can click on the video right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.